From Amateur Radio Newsline Report, number 2226, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, July 1st, 2020. The eyeball QSO is making a comeback down under as face-to-face license exams are returning.
The Australian Maritime College, which administers the exams for the Australian Communications and Media Authority, has announced that assessors will be able to proceed with the exams provided there is a COVID-safe plan and compliance is assured. The AMC's Amateur Radio Office must approve all exam sessions in advance and will not accept papers if it believes they were exposed to unsafe conditions. Exams have been given via remote assessments which required oversight by approved Level 3 AMC assessors. Clubs, meanwhile, are also restoring to some normality. In New South Wales, the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club is preparing to reopen its club rooms on the 4th of July, when it plans to hold its first face-to-face general business meeting since the start of the pandemic. There are maximum occupancy limitations, however. The meeting will also be available online for members who prefer to attend via a teleconference platform. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Robert Broomhead, VK3DN.
There's a sad silence inside a special radio museum in Ireland whose curator has passed.
Pat Herbert, curator of Ye Olde Hurdy-Gurdy Museum of Vintage Radio in Howth in Ireland, has become a silent key. Pat established the museum in 2003 inside the refurbished Martello Tower as a home for his vast collection of radio equipment, which he began assembling during the 1950s. The museum is described by Tony Bronach, EI5EM, of the Howth Martello Radio Group as, quote, a magical, quirky and welcoming Aladdin's cave, unquote. The museum is considered a welcoming facility, and perhaps no one has felt more welcome than amateur radio station EI0MAR, which began operating on the premises thanks to Pat. His story and that of the museum was the subject of a 10-minute award-winning film in 2014, Hurdy-Gurdy Man. Pat, who was perhaps the most enthusiastic volunteer at the museum, died on the 18th of June. He was 83. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Summer's arrived in many parts of the world, but before you curse the humidity that often accompanies the season, think of what that water vapor might be able to do for your operating power with your radio.
What happens when water molecules interact with metal surfaces? The result is nothing short of electric. So say researchers at Tel Aviv University, who've just completed a study into how the atmosphere's water vapor might just provide a renewable energy source. Soda enthusiasts and other portable radio operators, are you listening? The study from the university's Porter School of the Environment and Earth Sciences, published recently in Nature Scientific Reports, pursued the evolution of electricity in thunderstorms, noting how it morphs from vapor to droplets to ice and eventually spurs formation of the electricity we know as lightning. The researchers used a small low-voltage battery to determine voltage build-up between two discrete metal surfaces and found that when the environmental humidity dropped below 60%, so did the voltage. With humidity able to charge surfaces to as high as 1 volt, researcher Colin Price says he believes this process could eventually help develop batteries that could be recharged using water vapor in the air, provided the humidity is a very tropical 60% or higher. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at arnewsline.org. With Robert Broomhead, VK3DN, Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, Graham Kemp, VK4BB, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.